Okay guys, so today we're going to be looking at this poem, and it is Dog by, I forget his name already, Lawrence Ferlinghetti, I think is how you say his last name. And the reason why we're looking at this poem today is because it uses the nice repetition of "the dog trots freely in the street." So we're going to use this poem as a mentor text, and then as a group collectively, we will be writing our own poem with the refrain, "the dog trots freely in the street," on a Google Doc. So I'll write the first line, then someone else will write the next line, and we'll go around, and we'll do that 2 to 3 times, depending on how quickly we go through this and how the class period goes. So let's go ahead and read this for you. The dog trots freely in the street and sees reality, and the things he sees are bigger than himself, and the things he sees are his reality. Drunks in doorways, moons on trees. The dog trots freely through the street, and the things he sees are smaller than himself. Fish on newsprint, ants in holes, chickens in Chinatown windows, their heads a block away. The dog trots freely in the street, and the things he smells smell something like himself. The dog trots freely in the street, past puddles and babies, cats and cigars, ballrooms and policemen. He doesn't hate cops, he merely has no use for them. And he goes past them and past the dead cows hung up whole in front of the San Francisco meat market. He would rather eat a tender cow than a tough policeman, though either might do. And he goes past the Romeo ravioli factory and past, and past Coit's Tower and past Congressman Doyle. He's afraid of Coit's Tower, but he's not afraid of Congressman Doyle, although what he hears is very discouraging, very depressing, very absurd to a sad young dog like himself, to a serious dog like himself. But he has his own free world to live in, his own fleas to eat. He will not be muzzled. Congressman Doyle is just another fire hydrant. To him, the dog trots freely in the street and has his own dog's life to live and to think about and to reflect upon, touching and tasting and testing everything, investigating everything without benefit of perjury, a real realist with a real tale to tell and a real tale to tell it with, a real live barking, democratic dog engaged in real free enterprise with something to say about ontology, something to say about reality and how to see it and how to hear it, with his head cocked sideways at street corners, as if he just is just about to have his picture taken for Victor Records, listening for his master's voice, and looking like a living question mark into the great gramophone of puzzling existence, with its wondrous hollowest horn, which always seems just about to spout forth some victorious answer to everything. Okay, so that's the poem, and this is how Lawrence kind of used the refrain in this. I want you guys to get pretty creative about it. You don't have to make a political statement like this poem did. So let me get to the right Google Doc. This Mac looks maybe. Is it going forever? Okay. Do you all have the Google Doc open on your computers?
Yes.
Okay. So instead of projecting it, I'm just gonna use another device and I'll connect. So I will write the first line. So I'm gonna write "the dog trots." Hi, Joanne. The dog trots freely down the street. And then we're going to go around the room and each person's going to write the next line and we're going to space based off of the previous lines. And so do you guys want me to write the next line? Could that be better than just having me start out? Yes. Okay. So the dog trots freely down the street. He stops at the bakery. And wags his tail at everyone he meets. So try not to think about it. It took me a couple minutes to talk and type, but you don't have to think about it. Just like go on with the next line. Yes.
Do you care if it rhymes at all?
No, it doesn't have to rhyme. Just free write whatever you want, whatever the first thing that comes to mind is.
Are we going in a circle?
What?
Are we going in a circle?
Yep. So we'll just start with Joanna and go around, and then we'll go around at least twice, maybe 3 times. We'll see how it goes. Okay, so far we have the dog trots freely down the street. He stops at the bakery and wags his tail at everyone he meets. His nose swims through sights and smells of pastries and freshly baked loaves.
Awesome. Good job. I'm proud of this. Good job, guys. Yeah. Oh, it's my turn. Sorry.
You know, I've done this in the past with some of my colleagues. It usually does not go well. It doesn't flow and it's super random, so this is always a fun exercise to do. Okay, so far we have the dog trots freely down the street. He stops at the bakery and wags his tail at everyone he meets. His nose swims through sights and smells of pastries and freshly baked loaves. He's hoping for just a crumb. With none in sight, he continues down the street. The dog trots freely down the street. Okay, and now we have the dog trots freely down the street. He wanders past a park and barks hello to everyone he meets. So far we have the dog trots freely down the street. He stops at the bakery and wags his tail at everyone he meets. His nose swims through sights and smells of pastries and freshly baked loaves. He's hoping for just a crumb. With none in sight, he continues down the street. The dog trots freely down the street. He wanders past a park and barks hello to everyone he meets, and everyone he meets barks back with smiles and soft pets. He barks along with the song of the birds in the tree. have added, he chases the squirrels and hopes they'll play. They always seem to run away. The dog continues trotting freely down the street. He stumbles upon a lake and swims to every duck he meets. Alright, you guys want to go around one more time? And then after that, we'll stop there. And I can read it from the beginning here. So far we have: the dog trots freely down the street. He stops at the bakery and wags his tail at everyone he meets. His nose swims through sights and smells of pastries and freshly baked loaves. He's hoping for just a crumb. With none in sight, he continues down the street. The dog trots freely down the street. He wanders past a park and barks hello to everyone he meets. And everyone he meets barks back with smiles and soft pets. He barks along with the song of the birds in the tree. He chases the squirrels and hopes they'll play. They always seem to run away. The dog continues trotting freely down the street. He stumbles upon a lake and swims to every duck he meets.